Distribution of ballot papers in Rajanganaya, Valikanda and Agbopura halted temporarily. Tipper truck driver who ran over a roadblock in Kirinda killing a police officer arrested. The remains of the two children who drowned in Payagala recovered. A very good afternoon to you. You are watching Lunch Prime Time News. I'm Satudan Kaparachi. Let me keep you updated about the local stories. First, a tipper truck driver who ran over a group of police officers at the Kirinda roadblock has been arrested. According to the police, one police constable had died while two police sergeants were severely injured in the incident.
A tipper truck moving towards Hakmana had been signalled to stop at 11 p.m. last night by police officers on vehicle inspection duty in Kirinda, Hakmana. According to the police, the truck had neglected the order to stop and had continued to move forward. The police had taken measures to inform the officers at the next roadblock to stop the truck. Police stated that when the truck was stopped, the officers of the previous roadblock who were chasing the truck had arrived at the location. The driver of the truck was warned and released after being issued a ticket for driving dangerously. 10 minutes after the incident, the tipper truck had returned to the location and had run over the roadblock, killing a police constable and injuring two police sergeants. The police constable who had died was a 36-year-old attached to the Hakmana police station.
The total number of COVID-19 cases in the country has increased to 2,646 after identifying 29 cases yesterday. While two of the identified cases were individuals in the Maldives, another two are residents of the Rajanganaya area. 11 patients out of the rest are from the Senapura Rehabilitation Centre and 14 are from the Kandakadu Rehabilitation Centres. The Health Ministry says there are 652 active COVID-19 patients currently receiving treatment in hospitals. 1,981 patients in total have recovered. Our correspondent said security has been beefed up in the Rajanganaya area where many cases have been reported and services at government offices have been limited. A resident of the Kitulhitiava school Mavata in Kakirava who worked at the Kandakadu quarantine centre has tested positive for COVID-19 after a PCR test. Officers of the Kakirava Public Health Inspector's office stated that the patient who tested positive for the coronavirus has been directed to the Katukaliava quarantine centre in Minneria. The wife, two children and the officer's mother were taken to the Diyatalava quarantine centre under the protection of the army this morning. Kakirava Public Health Inspector stated that since the family members were showing symptoms of the virus, they were sent to the Diyatalava quarantine centre. Meanwhile, an officer of the army from the Potuhara Dambokka Thoravatura area have tested positive for COVID-19. After finishing his duties, the individual has arrived at his house on the 6th of July and visited the Polgahavila Magistrate Court on the 8th. Accordingly, the Polgahavila Magistrates Court was disinfected. Our correspondent stated that the disinfection was done under the supervision of the Polgahavila Public Health Inspector. The family members of the army officer who were showing symptoms of the virus were directed to quarantine centres. The officer had visited a restaurant near the Polgahavila Magistrates Court on the 8th. Accordingly, the restaurant has been closed today under the supervision of the Polgahavila PHI and the restaurant owner is in self-quarantine. 285 Sri Lankans from Jordan have been repatriated to Sri Lanka this morning.
According to the airport duty manager, the group arrived this morning at 4 a.m. in a special flight belonging to Sri Lankan Airlines. The group that arrived at the airport were immediately subject to PCR tests. According to our correspondent, the group was sent to a few quarantine centres. However, repatriation of Sri Lankans has been temporarily halted from today.
The Ministry of Education stated that the dates for the advanced level examinations and the scholarship exam will be announced today. Secretary to the Ministry, Ranjit Chandrasekhar, stated that the dates will be decided considering the current COVID situation.
He said that if a decision is made to postpone the reopening of schools, the dates for the GCE AL exams could also be pushed back. Ranjit Chandrasekhar said, at present, it has been decided to hold the AL and scholarship exams at the same time. However, he added, if the commencement of schools is postponed again, the scholarship examination will be held separately. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education says that it will hold further discussions with the COVID-19 Prevention Task Force on Friday regarding the reopening of schools. Secretary Ranjit Chandrasekhar said that if schools are not reopened, steps will be taken to issue a series of instructions to teachers on educating their students from home.
Before we move on to the other local stories that we have for you this afternoon, it is important to note that there is a lot of misinformation that is being shared, especially on social media with regard to the current COVID situation, and it is important for our viewers to be aware of the accurate facts, and that can be done if you're following News First through our website as well, that is www.newsfirst.lk. And there are a lot of other issues that have cropped up as a result of COVID-19, be it the electricity bill or any other issue. We at News First will keep you updated about all of this, especially in terms of what the policies the government is following with regard to the COVID-19 situation. All this will be available on all of our primetime news bulletins, be it in the Sinhala, Tamil or the English languages on News First. Moving on with more local news, a patient receiving treatment at the Negombo General Hospital had died after falling from the hospital apartment building.
The patient was admitted to the Negombo General Hospital on the 12th for treatment. The deceased was a 36-year-old resident of Katana Kadirana in Mulberry Watta area. The hospital staff further stated that the patient had fallen from the building this morning. Further investigations are underway. Meanwhile, a body was found in the Maligawatta area today. The body of the deceased was discovered this morning lying on the road. Our correspondent reported that the deceased had arrived from Ambalangoda to receive treatment for kidney disease. The body has been sent to the Colombo Judicial Medical Officer for further investigations.
While the COVID situation is as such, the election is also happening in our country, and another public rally of the Samagi Jana Balavege was held in Ratmalana yesterday. The rally was organized by candidate of the Samagi Jana Balavege, Hirunika Premachandra, and was held under the patronage of party leader Sadit Premadasa.
වර්තමාන රජය බොහොම ලොකුවට ප්‍රකාශ කරා කොරෝනා වසංගතය පරාද කරපු ආණ්ඩුව කියලා. කොරෝනා පෙරදුන.
The present government boasted about how they defeated the coronavirus pandemic. If they defeat the virus, how could there be a second wave? The reason for the second wave is the weakness of the government, inefficient public administration, greed for a two-thirds majority in parliament. These are the reasons for the second wave. They did not conduct PCR tests properly. Everyone's attention was on how they could hold an election and form a two-thirds majority. They just focused on the election and completely forgot the coronavirus. Did you all know that the COVID Preventing Technical Committee did not hold a meeting for a month? Why? Because they did not care about a second wave. I would like to state that this country should have a government who loves the people, who protects the people. What is happening now is that they forgot the people by thinking of the two-third in parliament.
ජනතාව අමතක කරලා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ තුනෙන් දෙක ගැන හිතලා.
A public rally of the United National Party was held in Moratuwa yesterday. This public meeting was held under the patronage of the leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe. The rally was organized by the United National Party candidate, Attorney at Law Krishmal Varnasuriya.
UNP කියන්නේ බලයට තරඟ කරන පක්ෂයක්.
UNP is a party that competes to get the power. Even the party constitution says to get the majority in the parliament and to govern the country. I want to form a UNP government. We are contesting to establish a government, not to support anyone to make a government. Some people want to take over Sirikota. I just want to go back to temple trees again. We want to protect democracy. We are protecting that constitution. We are protecting the 19th Amendment, and we won't let anyone change it. We are okay if anyone makes an attempt to strengthen the 19th Amendment, but we won't let anyone weaken it. No matter who tries to stop us, we will not step back.
ඉතින් ඒ වැඩ කටයුත්ත කරන්න තමයි එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයට කවුරු කකුලෙන් ඇද්දත් අපේ ගමන අපි නවත්තන්න.
Two sisters who had visited the Magona beach had got washed away yesterday evening. Our correspondent reported that the bodies of the two children had washed ashore this morning.
The two bodies were washed to the beach in front of the Magana petrol station. The area residents took measures to inform the police, and the police informed the family members of the deceased. The group had arrived at the beach behind the Jumma Mosque in Berola last night. They were washed away while bathing on the beach.
It is the second day of the postal voting for the 2020 general election. Postal voting took place in many government institutions in the island today as well. We will have a comprehensive story on the postal voting process on our primetime news tonight. And you can log on to our website, as I mentioned earlier, www.newsfirst.lk, to keep you and yourself updated about all the stories that we had just now and many more. That's all the news we have for you this afternoon. I've been Saturang Haparati. Thank you for watching.